Hello. Thank you for joining me on my new video. I am really excited about this one. It's a new commission. My customer visited the market in December and it was a Christmas market and they were really excited. And yeah, they thought about getting their friend a birthday gift to the 60th birthday. So it's really cool. We decided to go with a pencil portrait. Normally I am a pastel artist, but there were some difficulties regarding to the reference photo. It wasn't that much of a high quality, and so to be able to paint it properly and to give them justice and to make it really good, we decided that I paint the preferred photo in graphite pencil. So I hope you enjoy the painting process as I do painting.
So let's get started. I started this drawing at the end of December 2024 and it was finished in the first few days of 2025. This drawing was one of my first commissioned pencil works. As some of you may know, my love lies in pastel drawings. Last autumn I also created pencil drawing and published the process here on YouTube. What quickly became clear to me was that I love colors. And also the paper I used at the time didn't feel quite right. So I went on a search for paper that would make a painting process feel smooth and that would make the final result appealing to me. One of these papers was the Lana Bristol paper, which I'm using in this video. I love its complete smoothness and the fact that you can paint really tiny details. What I also tried with this paper was dissolving the graphite with OMS, odorless mineral spirits, to potentially get smoother transitions. I must honestly admit that this didn't work well for my realistic works, as everything became very streaky. Another downside of this paper is that I can't work the graphite pigments into the lower layers of the paper very well, like I can with Archer's hot pressed paper, for example. I spent a whopping 4 to 5 hours just feeling in the dark background area and trying to make it as even as possible. This was a complete contrast to when I paint pastel backgrounds. Nevertheless, I must honestly admit that the paper worked well. Surprisingly, the dark areas turned out very dark. I must say that in some places I used a black colored pencil to make certain parts even darker. And what I generally noticed during this painting process was that I developed a bit of love for black and white drawings. How did the pencil portrait come about? So, my clients, whom I met at a Christmas market where I was painting live, wanted to give a friend a special gift for their 60th birthday and surprise them with a portrait of mine, and specifically wanted this motif, which I have also immortalized. The big problem I had was the quality. It wasn't very good, and I knew immediately that I couldn't paint this requested motif in pastels. When I paint faces in pastels, they need to be a certain minimum size so I can recreate the person accurately and with expression. And I couldn't enlarge the face even remotely to this desired painting size. So I offered my clients the option to have the desired image done in pencil. I printed out the photo in advance to check that the quality would still be good at an A3 size, and luckily it was. I gave my clients 2 size options and as mentioned they choose A3. What I also offer all my clients is the option for me to document the creation process of the portrait in video format. This is an additional service included with every piece if desired. I have had some clients who graciously declined the video because they wanted to be surprised at the end. Now let's go to the thumbnail title, Vegan Paints a Hunting Portrait. So what's that all about? As you probably guessed, and as some of you know, I live vegan. In September-October of this year, it will be 10 years. I started for health reasons, more healthy eating, weight loss, and adding exercise. However, what happened shortly after was that I watched documentaries about animal farming. These documentaries literally opened my eyes. What I saw there was so horrible that I decided not to support this industry anymore. I must also honestly admit that I can no longer imagine eating meat or anything similar. Nevertheless, I would say that I still accept my fellow humans and their eating habits equally. Otherwise, I would never ever have been able to accept my partner's marriage proposal. Believe me, he is far from following a vegan diet. However, I must say that I can hardly watch videos about mass animal farming or animals being tortured. And I must honestly admit that I'm not particularly fond of hunting or hunting photos. So when this request portrait came to me, I had to swallow a bit. Because in the colored original, you can obviously see the blood of the dead animal. And the backstory to the day was, let's say, a little hard to digest. So why I did decide to take on this commission? Because it's a commission, plain and simple, and I try to separate my personal views from my clients' wishes. Moreover, every portrait I paint is an opportunity and an act of how I support my family financially. Because even though painting and drawing are a passion of mine, I am grateful for every commission and every opportunity to share my art with others. And one thing is for sure, I put just as much effort into this as I do with every other piece, and the time should not be underestimated. I spent a total of nearly 40 hours on this painting, just the painting time alone. Now, some of you might think, wow, that's a lot, and others might think, that's not that much. As I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, I am primarily an artist who works with pastels. For that, I use special paper where the pastels can adhere wonderfully, and I can create a lifelike unique piece. One of the advantages of pastels is that I can layer light over dark and vice versa. And I can quickly saturate large areas of paper with color. A piece of the size 40 by 30 centimeters takes about 20 to 30 hours, sometimes up to 35 hours if it's highly detailed. And with pencil, the quick filling of the background doesn't work. Here, each individual part has to be painting separately. There are no shortcuts. And with this piece, I spent at least as much time on the background as I did on the portrait itself. Now, I will share what I enjoyed painting the most surprisingly. It's the background. The snow, the stones and the earth were really fun to paint because of the texture. I really stuck to the original and focused on placing light and shadow where they should be, based on what I was sawing in my reference photo, and not imagining how it should be. The antlers were another part I really enjoyed. I thought it was great to practice a new texture. Now that I think of it, the texture of the antlers somewhat reminds me of tree bark. And what I enjoyed the least? Clearly, the complete dark background. It was so monotonous and boring to paint that I was really glad there weren't any more large uniform dark areas in this picture. What materials did I use? I use a variety of hard and soft pencils, a black colored pencil, different erasers, a paper stump, and to finish a fixative to seal everything. I use pencils from the Faber-Castell brand, some from the 9000er series and others from the Bit Graphite Matte series. This last series has pencils up to the darkness level of 14B, which is really very dark. The black colored pencil is also from Faber-Castell, from the Polychromo series. The erasers I used includes a mono zero eraser for small highlights, detail work or to create structure, and a kneaded eraser which is great for lifting graphite very gently. You can also mold it into whatever shape you need at the time. Lastly, the paper stump. It's great for working graphite pigment into the lower structure of the paper. You can also apply graphite to the paper stump and use it to transfer the graphite precisely onto the paper. So I will now stop talking and let you enjoy the rest of the process. If you have any questions about the process or anything else, feel free to reach out to me. More details are in the description box. And if you are now interested in having your own personal portrait, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. I'd be very happy to bring your artistic wishes to life.
I am finished. I think it turned out really good. I have putting it 40 hours, nearly 40 hours, and I have given it my all so that my clients and my customers are going to be really excited, and I'm really proud of the handwork I have done here myself. And I hope you can see it there too, and I would really appreciate a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. It was a pleasure to introduce you to my latest pencil drawing, and I hope we are going to see us really soon. And until then, I wish you a wonderful day, night and evening, wherever and whenever you are watching this video. So, with all love and all the best wishes. Bye.